Well, there we go. There's a few people. How are we doing today? I'm going to be doing a little bit different setup here. I'm going to be doing this on my own for a couple of these weeks. We're going to try something new. One of the things I want to talk to you guys about here is, boy, we are three-fourths of the way through August. Winter's just around the corner. I do want to tell you, we guys, brake check week. We have CVSA brake check week coming up on Sunday. They're going to be out Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan, especially, are putting out there that they're going to be looking for faulty brakes. So when you guys are out there doing your pre-trips this coming weekend, rolling in for the weekend here and into the early next week, take a look at your brakes. Make sure you don't have any cracked liners, cracked drums. Those you guys that have disc brakes out there, check your pads and your rotors out. And let us know before you guys take off for next week. They are going to be out there. This is typically, it's about a week earlier than normal than they usually do it, but it's just one of those things that they do each year. And you guys do a fantastic job. We've never had any issues with brake check week or our CVSA blitz week. So here real quick, I'm going to run through a few things. Welcome, everybody. It is Friday, August 21st, a little bit after 1:04. I was having a few technical difficulties getting that link out there. As you guys all seen, we did try out a new app. It does send you guys text messages individually. That way it's not a huge mass group message. Once I got rid of my Android phone, it took away the possibility to do that. So I apologize. For about a month here, we were not able to get you those links via text to your phone to where you could just tap into them, open it up. Any of you guys that are stopped out there, let me know how that worked here in the comments if you would. It gives us some good feedback here. That's the idea of doing this podcast. We want your feedback. And if there's an easier way, or an easier way for me to get this link out to you, by all means, just let me know. I'm more than happy to try anything new. As always, these services cost money. So we look at, we try to weigh the options, and just wasn't working sending them out via email. So if this works for you guys, let me know in the comments down below. So coming up here, we're going to talk about some stories over the last couple of weeks. We weren't live last week. I was on vacation. We had that big storm come through the Midwest here, and it just kind of continued on for 3 or 4 days. Took a break and then hit us again pretty hard. So I know a lot of you guys have been dealing with flooding at job sites, and even getting into towns down there in southern Indiana. They've declared a state of emergency. And I know they've been asking Trump for some money. Even the governor, I think it's Braun over there in Indiana, he's looking to get some funds over there to help get that cleaned up. Waters are starting to recede over there, so hopefully we'll see some relief here soon. And, if you're running any of these lanes this week, I'm going to go over 75 corridor, 65 corridor, and even over into 85. We get up into Chicago, Detroit, such as that. And I'm going to just go over some of the construction they got planned. That way you guys can look out for it. There's some coming up here that it might be a good idea to know. That way you guys can plan around. First thing, there's only 7 of you guys on here, but I do want to get this out there. There was a major accident down in Convoy today. I did send out a message via Samsara. Supposedly there's multiple fatalities. I have not been able to confirm that. One of the drivers sent me a message. Ken, thank you, out there in truck 272. He happened to pass across it, said it was a bull hauler over on its side. And Mr. Chad Price came in, said they've got the truck uprighted back on its feet. But it will be closed down for a while, especially if there's multiple fatalities. They're going to have to do some accident reconstruction and some little bit heavier investigation on that. So just try to take clear of it. If you're coming in here to the yard, if you're coming from obviously the east, you're going to run up 127 before you get to it. Just try to avoid that area altogether. If you live down there, have any suggestions of how to get around that a little bit better, just let me know. I'll put it out there in the messages there in Samsara, or we can mention it here. Anyway, hope you guys are getting there, geared up, getting back towards your yards, wherever you're parking the truck at. Going to have a good weekend here. Get into that big storm we had. It was August 11th. I was out there in Denver with Rick. We were attending our insurance company's annual safety seminar, if you want to call it. Got to talk to quite a few people out there, but kind of didn't really know what was going on back home until a couple of the guys that were based in Illinois, southeast Chicago, I believe, came in and let us know that how bad it really was. Started looking stuff up, and I guess through confirmation from the National Weather Service, it was a derecho. Started over in Iowa, and I did not realize there was so much stuff that would qualify that as a derecho. I mean, this thing has to have like 10 different factors that all line up in order for them to call it a derecho. But all it means to me is it seems like it's just a bunch of damaging winds that really didn't collect into a funnel cloud, cause a lot of damage, a lot of flooding. And like I said earlier, it just kept piling up. We'd have storm after storm. Typically here in Paulding, it'll run north or south of us. Payne and Haviland seem to get most of what we don't hear that comes from the over there, just a little northwest of us. It'll split, go up towards Defiance, and we just don't seem to get a whole lot here. But even here in Paulding, I've been mowing my grass every other day. Can't hardly keep up. Won't put fertilizer again on it the rest of the year. I know that. So over in Gary, Indiana, they were recording temps of 99 mile per hour. They had 3 different hits of that, and then it stretched all the way down to Columbus. They were still getting hit at 80 mile per hour winds throughout that storm. 8 to 12 inches of rain in parts of Indiana and Ohio. There was reports of fatalities. I think they were up in the double digits over there in Indiana. So if you guys are still over there, still having problems with the flooding, getting in and out of places, just kind of be careful. Watch. You really don't want to take those trucks into places you can't see where you're driving into. Now, if you see other vehicles driving through and you can actually tell how deep that water is, obviously a truck's going to make it through better than a car. Just be careful where you're driving out there. We don't want to get you guys hung up, or we have to get you pulled out. Truck sinks. Right now, they've got roads that are collapsing. So just really important out there to make sure you got a heads up on that. Also, they've got detours, lots of detours in southern Indiana. I'm assuming southern Ohio over there in that southeast corner is really getting hammered as well. Ackerman, you're calling me on the podcast. What are you doing? Send that one to voicemail. But no, watch out for those detours. Check your routing ahead of time. If you know you're heading to one of those areas, you're going to have to pass through that area. It just takes a few seconds to make sure the roads aren't closed. I know that there's a lot of rerouting that's happened on the flatbed loads delivering into job sites down there. Guys have been stuck. I heard over in Missouri while we were gone, there were several guys that had to spend the night out there waiting to be able to get into a job site. So it's just kind of been a pain in the ass all around for all of us. But don't necessarily think that, this is one thing with Copilot we did find out a few days ago. It's not going to catch up with road closures as fast as what Google Maps and such will. So use all the tools available to you. One of the things that I seen in a news article this week when I was watching through or sifting through all my emails, Google Maps just came out with truck routing. Now, it is not available to the public yet on a free basis, but they are talking about coming out with a free version of Google Maps. You just go in and set your truck height, length, everything like that, any route restrictions you may have, and it will supposedly route you on a truck route. So we're going to see how that goes. Hopefully they'll get some good stuff out there. I know I use Google Maps quite a bit to look up routing and mileages and things like that, but obviously never a good idea to follow that thing for truck routing. All right. What's next on here? Sorry, guys. It's a little bit different format for me. So Cincinnati. Oh, that was the next one. We've had a lot of reports, and I've actually had several guys reach up and hit those panic buttons in the cameras on those trucks. The ones that face dual have a little blue button in there. And just a reminder, if you guys are at a truck stop, get backed into, if you're close enough to that button, it's saved us several times. Reach up there, hit that button. It goes back 15 seconds and forward 15 seconds, and it will capture that video and everything's on there. But Cincinnati seems like they're going nuts down there. They actually have had more accidents in the last 2 weeks in the construction zones. Keep your eye out right there. They're talking about up to the 8 mile marker still, I believe it is, coming across the bridge. And even on the Kentucky side, they're going to have shutdowns, about 2 mile shutdowns, it's looking like. Rolling shutdowns, that is, going across that just across the bridge into Kentucky. So that's going to be one area you're going to watch out for. They say it's going to last through March of 2027, possibly. I don't know how they'll work through that in the winter here in Ohio, but I guess we're getting ready to find out. Also, I-65 corridor, Indiana to Kentucky over there in Louisville. Everybody knows they've had construction going on over there. Mile markers 130 through 136 is going to be a 2-month shutdown. This one actually ended. They're starting up the next one in March. So this is going to be another March one. Starting in March next year, that one is going to shut down again. and they're going to start doing more work on that bridge. They talked about building the new one over here by Cincinnati. That was it was about 3 months ago they put that idea out there. I don't know if they're going to push that through. There's also a talk of making that Cincinnati bridge over into Kentucky a toll bridge as well. Anything else out there for I-75? Looks like that's all covered. I-85 corridor for you guys down there in Georgia, run out that way. I do know that our terminal up, of course, is up towards I-85 there. Down in the metro Atlanta area, about the 95 to 105 there in Gwinnett County. Coming up this next week, you're going to have rolling roadblocks, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. If you're one of those guys that run overnight, watch out for that. If you're planning to go down there in that area, down there in 85, they will be shutting that down. They say it can slow you up from anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. So plan ahead for that one. We don't go too much into South Carolina, North Carolina up 85, but if you're running up through there, there's several spots between Greenville and Spartanburg. They're going to be doing the same thing, and as well up into North Carolina between the 45 and the 49 mile marker. One of the things, like I mentioned before, it is CVS brake check week. Again, please check your brakes out there before you take off. Just another quick reminder. Next up, Logisticize. So we've talked about this on a couple occasions. Justin and I did a podcast at 7:00 at night on a Monday. If you've not received your email for the Logisticize website, app, whatever you want to call it, you can set it up as an app on the home screen of your phone. Just had Randy Jones in here today. We set that up for him. Get a hold of Justin. That's what you're going to need to be able to use that PTO that you're earning. You're out there earning PTO every mile. The idea of this is so you guys can take some time off, don't have to worry about the financial impact of not getting a paycheck. But if you haven't received that and signed up for it, no one's going to see your request, and we can't put those in on our side for you. So I just want to reiterate, please get a hold of Justin. If you have not seen that email, emails get messed up around here. So it's not, uncommon to have one that doesn't get delivered because of a glitch. Justin wants to make sure you get those in. We want your dispatchers to know when you need time off, and that way you guys can put it in plenty ahead of time. So just go ahead and if you haven't set up, stop this weekend while you're at home. Try to get it set up. If you have any issues, get a hold of us Monday morning, and we'll fire out that email to you. That way you can, or walk you through the process, if you need help with that. If not, and you're in here in the shop, just come in and see one of us. We'll get, Justin typically has to send out the link. He has all that, but we'll get you set up. It's not a big deal. Next one, we've had a couple accidents over the course of the last 3 weeks here. What is it? It's 21st. So we got 3 weeks in. I wanted to go over these. We haven't had a chance to do a live here, too much recently with me being out of the office on Fridays. And we've just had several things going on. So on July 30th, up there in Michigan at Nady Road and I-75, we had an accident. Driver, wasn't a lot of parking around there, and we understand that, but he had pulled up over the ramp, and he was on the entrance ramp, headed southbound there in Michigan, or northbound. And another truck came down the ramp, had something go wrong in the right front of the suspension, is what's saying in the accident report. So the truck, dipped down. It steered directly to the right into the back of one of our flatbed trailers. Nothing our driver necessarily did wrong to cause the accident, clearly, except that they did write him a ticket. They wrote him a ticket for illegally parking on the ramp. Everywhere in Michigan, guys, you can't park on ramps. It's illegal. They'll give you tickets. If you're on a ramp and you don't have triangles out and you don't have your flashers on, you just might as well bank on it. And especially when it comes down to something like this, we're looking at about $6,000 to $7,000 in damage to the trailer, and we're just going to have to eat the cost. No insurance company is going to pay out regardless of what the right or wrong thing to do is. Our guy was just sitting there. He was sleeping. He didn't even wake up, evidently, when he got hit. So just keep an eye on that when you're parking on those ramps. They're going to cite you. We're seeing it more and more. It's coming up on inspections. The newest thing that they're doing is they're pulling up on ramps. They're finding a group of trucks. They're stopping them right there, and they're inspecting them. And everything else may be clean, but they walk out of there with a citation. And I have no idea what that cost up in Michigan at this time. I've received one in Pennsylvania. It cost me $185, and that was in 2000 and I believe it was 13 that I got that ticket, parked over by a Walmart DC, getting ready to deliver some groceries. So I imagine they've gone up from there. I don't imagine they're getting any cheaper. I know nothing else is. But so ramps, if you're on a ramp, that is considered a part of the highway. If you're broke down on the side of a highway and you're just off in the emergency lane, you got to have triangles out within 10 minutes and placed in a certain manner, and your four ways need to go on right away. And if an officer pulls up behind you, they're going to want to know why you're broke down, just because of the simple danger factor of being on the side of the road. And they want to make sure everyone's safe out there. So next one we had, it happened 2 weeks later, almost exactly 2 weeks later, on August 14th down in Indianapolis. Driver came up and had multiple turn lanes. And any of us that have gone through trucking school, I had to get my CDL when I got it back in the day in Indiana. I know a lot of you guys, that are more tenured. You grew up around here on the farms. You're driving them since you're 6, 7, 8 years old, or at least reach the pedals. But still, pretty common sense. Trucks need to swing wide to be able to make turns. And when you pull up to a multi-turn lane and there's 2 or 3 lanes turning in the same direction, we need to be in the outside lane. We need more room to get out and around everything. This particular driver pulled up on the inside lane. And of course, there's a median with signs there. And he went to swing out wide to make that turn. And he went into the other lane. He hit a car, spun him around. I sent the training out there. Everybody's seen the video that was in there, not hiding it. It's a pretty simple one to avoid. And we haven't had any real kind of minor impact, but it's going to have, heavier damage to our insurance rates in the end. And that's just the kind of accident right now that we just discussed out in Denver, that somebody's going to try to pull $40,000 out of a stupid 5 mile per hour collision. It really is trucking 101, guys. It's get in the outside lane. You need the space, create the space if you have to. As long as you're in that outside lane, shouldn't be anything to worry about. You can see everything that you need to get around on the inside of you. Therefore, it shouldn't be any reason to hit it. Next one we have got, yes, I need to tell you guys about this one in Michigan. In the Detroit area, I know we go a lot up there for equipment assets to deliver forklifts. Between the 43 and the 45 mile marker on I-75, it is going to be a full closure from yesterday at 9 p.m. all the way through Tuesday at 5 a.m. So Monday, when you roll out of the house and you got to head to Detroit, if anybody does, just be aware of that. Between the 43 and the 45 mile marker, it is going to be shut down. Plan accordingly. Hopefully you guys, can get out there and find a better alternate route out there. Next thing I got up for you guys is a few things that we're taking a look at here. And I want to get your guys' ideas. This podcast is meant for you guys. There's only 11 of you on here right now, and it does take some time to put together, and we want your guys' feedback on it. Send me an email, send me a text, give me a call here. I want to know what you guys want out of this. What can we do to make this better for you? It is meant to be somewhat entertaining, but also make sure you guys get the information you need. It's also, one of the ways that we avoid bringing you guys in here on Saturdays for safety meetings like we used to do. And as long as it continues at only 11 hits on here when we're trying to go live to help you guys out with keeping you away from the shop, then we're going to have to go back to doing these meetings every month on the second Saturday of the month. And I've talked to many of you guys, and nobody wants to go back to doing that. So let me know what you guys want out of here. I did some driver interviews. They seem to go well. Guys enjoy doing them. I enjoyed interviewing each and every one of you. I know that we're trying to work on keeping them a little bit shorter. I know that, some of those stretched out there to 2 hours, got a little bit long. But I really think that it's a good avenue to get you guys some information pretty quickly. It's easy to tap a link, one touch, take a listen to it on your way home on a Friday. And we try to do some fun things every now and then, get guys in here joking around. But yeah, if you can let me know, I'd be more than happy to move anything in here that you want to. As far as Logisticize side of things, we're obviously doing pretty well here. Freight's looking good. We had obviously issues getting enough trucks to haul the loads. I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, that there's more loads than we have trucks. So that's a problem that we always like to have. It's not a problem that we've had over the last couple of years. So it's still refreshing that we can actually have to turn down freight instead of have to search for it all the time. You van drivers, you're going to see some new trucks rolling out there, or some different guys in trucks. We've got 3 new capable trucks up here that they just started to put stickers and stuff on. They're getting them outfitted for flatbed. So they're the new 2027 VNLs. They are I think the 86-inch bunks. I'm pretty sure those are 86-inch bunks out there. Got a few Macs coming in. I was talking to Kurt yesterday. They were over at Vomac in New Haven, Indiana, and one of the new ones rolled in. So trying to do a lot of things around here. Really, they're making Kurt, Derek, and Rick have made a very concerted effort to try to upgrade this fleet. We have bought new trailers and more new trucks in the last 2 years than I think I've seen around here in a long time. And it's made a big difference. Our vehicle maintenance scores are dropping. They have a lot of equipment on them it's great. I mean, I hope that at least there's more comfortable amenities in the trucks for you guys, are a little more convenient. Yes, they're annoying at first. We get it. It's a lot more electronic and a lot less manual operations, even for the brakes. Your valves in those trucks are all electronic paddles now. You just tap them and they release, and you give them a quick pull on there and they'll set the brakes. So there was a few items that we had to work around with idling and sliding tandems and things, but I think right now they got a pretty good grasp on it. Caleb's getting a good handle on what those things take to repair. And he's getting a hold of Vomac and getting some good training on that. And we haven't had to send a lot out of house unless it's for programming. So I'm not going to drag this out for you guys. If there's not a whole lot of things to do, I guess the Logisticize app is going to be a big one. PTO, that's $400 a day while you're off work. If you have the $400, you can take it. You got to have the full $400 for a full day, though. There's no going negative, essentially, or anything like that and paying it out and re-earning it. They're going to be coming up here, probably a month and a half now. There's guys that already have 2 or 3 days, sometimes some van drivers close to 4 days banked up. So it really doesn't take a whole lot of time to bank up some vacation, get some well-deserved time off. Let's see here. Mr. Partlow out there. Ask questions of the podcast at the end. If the answer correctly, get a driver. Well, yeah, we've done that before, Jeff. That's actually a good idea. But we're keeping a pretty steady flow. One of the things I've got back here in the corner, I've got some of these plastic clipboards in here. They're document clipboards. I've sent messages out for guys to come see me. I had just enough plus 20 extra. I still have half of them here. You guys, it's free. Come grab it. I mean, you can put some extra bill of ladings in there. You can throw some extra logs in there in case you ever have them missing out of your permit books. Just several things you can put in there just to help you out in the job and keep you organized. Anything else out there that you guys think would be useful? That's, we can't go spend $1,000, but if you guys have something that you think would be useful to the whole fleet, that's like, hey, this is a small thing that would help us out a lot. I have tire pressure gauges, whatever the case may be. There's those common items out there. Just let us know. We're more than happy to take a look at them and get them in here. That's one thing that, we interviewed with Derek 2 weeks ago, and he made a concerted effort to really get in here and get on Justin and I to get some items in here that was useful to you guys. And that way it would help make your guys' jobs easier. Josh Shoup out there, he's gotten a few binder clips that he has shared with me when he was buying them. Those things are handy just to slap around those binders to make sure they're secured. Then you don't have to drag out tarp straps to wrap them. I know there's several different ways out there to actually do that. I have seen a pretty slick one where guys using the chains. So I'm going to take a few pictures of those, put them out in the training. That may be easier. There's actually one out back that I've seen today. But anything out there that you guys want to know, give us a shout. We're definitely here to bring you guys some information. I tried to lay off the trainings this week, take a break. You guys have done an excellent job. Inspections they're up quite a bit this month. We have several vehicle maintenance violations. We just got another one day before yesterday for some taillights on a tractor. I wanted to dispel that myth. It's not, when you're hooked to a trailer, yes, you can get away without having mud flaps on a tractor, but you got to have working lights. They've got to work, guys. I know there's a couple times we've ran into this. I've looked it up. I've tried to dance around that regulation. And really, when they came back to us, it was just only the mud flaps. That's really the only thing that we can get away with when we're hooked to a trailer. So keep your eyes on that. You guys have done a great job. We're down in the low 60% for vehicle maintenance. We were as high as 81 just a year ago. We do have a new crash coming on. That one on the ramp. There's another thing that's going to kill us. I can't fight that crash. Right there in the accident report, it says illegally parked. So it basically just pulls the rug out from underneath me to be able to get that dropped off our record. You guys worked really hard. We're kind of in a balancing act right now. We've had 1 hour of service violation and this one crash that's going to come on. Thankfully, we've had just the exact same amount of points that are getting ready to drop off this month. So that'll help us just keep it balanced. We'll stay out of alert. We are up to a 91% bypass rate. And this is going to be one of my last points because we ran into this several times just yesterday and today. So I went into DriveWise and I wanted to see how well we were doing on the bypass since our scores had improved. And I gave it about a month here to collect a good amount of data. You guys, we can't be signed in on a cell phone and a tablet at the same time. You guys are kicking yourself in the face. So one tablet's going to tell you bypass. Your cell phone's going to tell you to pull in. So you got to err on the side of caution and pull in at that time because you've been given two different directions. But I can go through and I see 7 drivers just in the last week alone that have got the bypass on the tablet and were directed to pull in on the phone. We cannot be logged into both devices at the same time. That is one of the reasons that we are having so much problems with Samsara. Samsara does not work in a manner that allows 2 devices to be logged into the same tractor at the same time and function properly. It's causing lockups on tablets. It's causing, your phones work fine because they're not going through essentially our system to be set up. But what happens is you're pulling into scales that you don't need to. And if your DriveWise isn't working, get a hold of me here. I went through and there was 15 times this week alone that the bypass was flagged on DriveWise as you're pulling up to the scale, and guys pulled in anyway. I mean, unless you're really wanting to get inspected that bad or whatever the case may be, it's actually giving, like I said, and Jeff, I'm responding to your question right here that you posted. It's giving 2 commands. So you have to pull in if one of them says pull in. If not, and you get through that scale, they have every right to come chase you down, drag you back to the scale, and everyone knows the violations that go along with that. But that's going to kind of be my wrap-up point for this week. We've kept it right there at that 30-minute mark. If anybody, like I said, has any suggestions, get a hold of me. Leave them here in the comments. This will stay up. It'll go live after about an hour, I think, at repost, and everyone can access it with that link again. But yeah, I have no problems taking on any suggestions here. Please have a safe weekend out there with your families. Enjoy it. It's supposed to be some decent weather from what I've seen. I know a lot of you guys came in, said you guys are headed out camping. A lot of permanent camp spots. I've never been around an area that has so many permanent campers. Even, people here in the office, they take off. It just seems like it's like owning a lake place. You got to mow 2 places. You got to take care of 2 places. Can it really be that fun? What am I missing here? Should I get a camper? You guys let me know if there's nice places around here that have any openings. I've been looking at doing something like that too. Like I said, you guys have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Stay cool. And we look forward to talking to you guys next week.